Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich, making another video on XRP today, as usual. So, wherever you are in this vast planet, I hope you're all having a nice day today. We are going to discuss XRP. This is the one-day chart once more. Right now, the price is $2.14. However, we are moving sideways between $2.10 and $2.20 if you zoom out to the 7-day. Compared to last week, when we were falling below $2, it looks much better now. Even though Donald Trump mentioned tariffs in passing today, the cryptocurrency industry was unaffected. Perhaps the cryptocurrency market is now adjusting to the levies. Perhaps despite the tariffs, it is beginning to stabilize. Although we still have to wait and see where we end up, it appears like we are once again gaining traction. I hope that the only thing that changes in the future is that we will continue to rise. Analysts predict that XRP will reach $30. Accordingly, they estimate that the current market cycle will be between $27 and $30. You see, the XRP community has been using that $27 pricing point since before 21. At the time, people believed that there was a good probability that XRP would sell for more than $27. The 2018 run was the topic of their constant conversation, and we're still running just as planned. Thus, we go between $27 and $30 if the run goes as planned. Begin to count for the launch of ETFs, institutional acceptance, potential Ripple IPOs, and other factors. Then we'll reach far higher. In this run, I continue to observe a lot of folks calling for 3 digits who can predict what will occur. There is a lot of optimism surrounding XRP going forward. Additionally, I thought this post was excellent. $20 is an undervalued price for XRP. $25 is still not worth that much. The starting price is $33. At $33, XRP overtakes Bitcoin as the most popular cryptocurrency. If that occurs, we would reverse the market capitalization of Bitcoin, which would alter everything moving forward. Still, $39 is only the start. The breakout is at $4.40. The shift in momentum is $56. The supercycle costs $71, and mainstream acceptance costs more than $100. As you are aware, XRP is now quite cheap. It's unbelievable to me that XRP is still trading at its current level. When I first purchased my XRP, I anticipated that we would be between $8 and $12 by now. However, we are still only sitting here with about $2 and change. This is a fantastic time to buy because once XRP starts, it doesn't stop. It performs far better than any other coin available. This cycle already demonstrates it. However, a super cycle is also being demanded by everyone. I believe that many members of the Bitcoin community, known as Maxis, are looking forward to a supercycle. Their goal is for Bitcoin to reach a value of about $200,000. I simply don't think that will get traction. Furthermore, I believe that Bitcoin is far too managed for that to occur. I will be completely shocked if it reaches 150K, as that would be the most unexpected thing that could occur. Let's hope for the best, but I doubt it will even surpass 120K. XRP may now reach $100 or higher during this run. I believe that certain things must occur. I believe that for it to occur, the ETFs must unquestionably be active. Additionally, institutional adoption must take place. On Ripple case resolution news, Xrp+ warns investors that XRP is not likely to take off. This is what I believe will occur. He's claiming that this is already priced in when the case is over. There will likely be spike in price when that statement is made, but I believe the true value will emerge soon after the case is declared to be over, as that is when the institutions will begin to step in and drive up the price over time. However, the day it occurs, that case ends. Yes, I do anticipate a pump. Will we witness a new peak? Probably. However, I believe there will be a little sell-off before the true value becomes apparent. This is from Eleanor Tourette, in case you were wondering. Paul Atkins is still not seated at the SAC governor's office. Before he can begin, few formalities need to be completed, such as the actual swearing in President Trump's approval of his appointment. Over the next few days, this could occur at any time. Thus, pay attention. Everyone is currently discussing the Thursday discussion behind closed doors. Atkins isn't even getting sworn in until Friday, but they're suggesting he'll make a big statement on Thursday. Therefore, I believe he will take some time to visit the SEC and arrange things if it occurs before Friday. Then there will be more significant announcement. However, given that he might visit the SAC this week, it's possible that we'll hear the news that the Rippleverse SEC case is finally over next week. After that, I believe we'll start to see potentially go live. I'm aware that many people are predicting that it will occur before the end of April. We'll see how it turns out. A pundit predicts the value of Ripple's XRP in the event that it replaces Swift. Everyone wants to replace Swift with Ripple, you know. He claims that XRP will be worth more than $15,000 per coin when it replaces Swift. He continued by discussing how Swift is actually out of date and how XRP is broken up into smaller bits called drops. However, what is the timeline for this? I believe that Ripple will take at least 3 to 5% of Swift's business right out of the gate. Being conservative, I believe it will take at least 2 years, if not 4, for Ripple to completely replace Swift, depending on how quickly things develop. It will rely on the banks, since it will happen much more quickly if they actually start shifting away from Swift and toward Ripple. But we are all aware of how banks operate. Unless they're losing money in clients, they usually take their time. Down the street to the bank. Now, we're probably going to see a 3-digit XRP over that time frame, and possibly even anything like $200 to $300 per XRP. However, I believe it will probably take them 2 or 3 years to reach those considerably higher pricing points. With institutional adoption, as it will also force many of these institutions to abandon SWIFT, as they will also be using the banks as leverage. Smaller banks will be leveraged by larger banks. The smaller banks